Hi, Debbie Holloway here. Hope you can hear me. Welcome to Wire Wednesday. I have the good fortune to be with you again this week. I don't know if you can tell my shirt. I should show you this. Fall is coming, isn't it? It's whiskey weather in Kentucky. Just saying. Today's conversation, I think, is pretty fun for us, and hopefully you'll get something out of this. It's called Prioritizer or Procrastinator. Do you prioritize what you're going to do? I don't know about you guys, but let me tell you, for me, I'm not a good prioritizer. I like last minute things, but last minute things don't like me that much. Because what happens is you become a procrastinator. I can procrastinate a lot. And I have a feeling maybe some of you can too. I don't know. I would love to know what you think. But I found this thing that's forever old that some of you probably already know about, and it's called the Eisenhower Matrix. And I'm going to post it in the comment section of this video on our Wire page. The Eisenhower Matrix. It's deciding the difference between urgent and non-urgent, and important and not important. So it's broken down into 4 categories: either do, schedule, delegate, or delete. I really like the delete part, but I'm just going to go over it briefly. And if you want to know more, because I think we should all want to know more, let me know. I really want to do a planning session for 2025 for you ladies. I would really like for us to not just talk about how many deals are you going to do, but what specifically can you do differently that doesn't have to cost you a lot of money to get you business. Because quite frankly, I am amazed at the women that I have spoken to in the last 30 days that have had a horrible 2024. How bad has your 2024 been? Oh, good morning, Melissa. It's always good to see you on here. I just love your posts. Bottom line is, did you have a crappy year this year? Did you have a fabulous year? Would you like something different next year? Whatever that is, if we don't sit down and plan it, it's not going to happen. I was doing a talk for the Alabama Association of Realtors, and if any of you live in Alabama, wow, nicest people on the planet. It was such an amazing event. And I told them, I'm not going to talk about AI or social posts or Google My Business. I want to talk about how you can use your skills to meet more people, to get more business, to close more deals. We don't have to let the NAR settlement affect us. We don't have to let the rise or fall of interest rates affect our business, but we do, because it's all up here. A lot of that comes from procrastination instead of prioritization. So I want to touch on the Eisenhower Matrix today, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. And comment below, or message me, call me. I'm always here to help. But the Eisenhower Matrix is divided into the urgent and non-urgent. If it's urgent, that means you've got to do it. It is a task with a deadline or consequences. Think about our children. Are there consequences for them not doing their chores or not finishing their homework? Yes. That's urgent, and that's important. So it has to be done. The non-urgent but yet important stuff is called schedule. Task with maybe an unclear deadline, not quite sure how to progress. This is where you need a mentor or a coach or a friend, coworker, someone that'll help you with this. So that's not urgent, but yet it's important. It might also be urgent, but not important. Something that really must get done, but it doesn't have to be you that's doing it. Something that you delegate to somebody else. So we've got the things you must do, the things you need to schedule to do, the things you can delegate, and lastly, it's not urgent and it's not important. Now, what do you think we should do with that? Delete it. These are distractions and are unnecessary. If it is not important and it is not urgent, then let's not procrastinate and hang out with that part of our life. So I think that there's a lot to be made from that. I think there's a lot, honestly, that you can do. Let's see, what are the comments here? Melissa, I checked out this year. And listen, Melissa, a whole lot of people checked out this year. I don't know if it was the rates. I don't know if it's the presidential election. Can't wait for that to be over with. I don't know if it was the NAR settlement, although I suspect that had a lot to do with it. Michelle says, I'm normally 8 in escrow at any given time. I'm 0 right now. Michelle, then we should talk. Maybe we should do a Zoom meeting and just have a mastermind group with with any of you women that really want to have a conversation about how do I make this better? Because you can, but we have to do something about it. You can't sit still and expect it to change. When my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, I was completely frozen. I couldn't even think. I didn't even know what I didn't know what to do. But if you sit there in that moment, nothing changes. It doesn't matter in life what happens to any of us. It matters how we handle it. And sometimes handling it's very hard. But if you had a horrible year, then we really need to have a conversation because it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. I think you can take a look. I would take a look at everything you have on your to-do list and use the Eisenhower matrix, which, like I said, I will post in the comment section here, and ask yourself, is it a do, schedule, delegate, or delete? There are things we can delegate. People think, well, I don't have anybody to delegate it to. There's all kinds of people you can delegate to. I wanted to invest in rental property, but I didn't have the money. So I delegated part of my income to a builder who was willing to put up the money. I did all the work. 2 years later, we split the profits 50-50. I delegated what I didn't have. You can do this. But sometimes when we're sitting in our own home, alone, thinking everything around us is going on, we have a hard time thinking straight about what to do and how to handle things. I'll never figure out how some people make it. There are times that if I can't talk to my friend Eileen Rivera, who I'm going to be talking to in a couple weeks right here on the Wire page on Wednesday, who is one of the most sensible, caring, incredibly great coach and mentor person I know. Sometimes I just have to have a conversation with her, and I know she feels the same way about me. But we don't take advantage of the people around us that could help us. Hey, Paige, good to see you on here, girl. Michelle says, I'm doing 100K in 100 days. Excellent. You should be doing that. Now, I know not all of you are in Tom Ferry coaching, but that 100K in 100 days, I think is brilliant, and I think it helps us focus on the now. I think also, like I said, plugging some of that into the Eisenhower matrix is really, really helpful. So let me just end with this. Let me know yes or no. I'll put a poll on the page if you'd like to do a Zoom mastermind to talk about next year, whether it is our plan or the obstacles that we think we're going to have, whatever that is. So I want to end with this. You can be a prioritizer or a procrastinator. Procrastination leads to poor performance and it harms everything around you. But if you want to be a prioritizer, I want to give you some tips on that. Number one, write down the tasks. Get it out of your head. If you are constantly keeping things in your head, what you're going to find is you'll forget them, or they'll bother you and you don't sleep and you can't focus on what you need to focus on. Get it out of your head and into your phone or on paper. Secondly, look at that list and start with the hardest task. Personally, I would look at the list, apply the Eisenhower matrix, and then I'd take the hardest task that I know I must do and get it out of the way. That is always the one that looms over our head. So start with the hardest task. So write down your task, start with the hardest one. The next one is set aside time. Time block. If you haven't read the 12-week year, you should absolutely get that in the field guide. And I keep saying that. Your schedule should consist of you writing down for the week what you're going to do on a big calendar. And you plug in first what you're going to do with your family. Secondly, what you're going to do for you personally for your own well-being that week. And then you plug in appointments and prospecting and social media work and whatever that is, videos. But if you don't have it planned out, we're always running around and procrastinating. The next one is be realistic. Consider how much time you have and how long each task will take. I don't know, you may be a bit like me, but I seem to be able to try to fill way more tasks into way less time. And sometimes that comes back to bite us. Be realistic. The next one is delegate. If it's not yours to do, assign it to somebody else. There's so many people out there that can help us in what we do, but we don't ask for help. It's okay. Delegate it. And lastly, define your goals. Clarify what you want to achieve and how you're going to measure that. And that's why you have to have a plan. If you don't have a business plan, and by the way, it doesn't have to be 12 pages long. It can be very simple. I have a really simple plan I can share with you if you'd like. But those are the tips towards prioritizing and avoiding procrastination. Please comment below yes if you'd like to do a Zoom mastermind in the next couple of weeks. And we'll talk about the matrix, your plan, how the tips you can use to do better next year in business than you do this year. I totally get what a lot of you are going through. I started my practice when the rates were 18%, and I wasn't smart enough to know that that was bad. And many of you know my story. So I get that rates can bother us. I get that what NAR does or our local associations do doesn't make a lot of sense to a strong business person, but associations, just like politicians, that's different than running our business. They're there for a different reason. We've got to be with better, stronger, more accomplished business people in order to grow our business. And someone that I think has done an incredible job of that is Becca Lawrence. And if you don't know Becca out in Asheville, what she and her husband are doing in buying small businesses is a really smart thing. But she has specifically and methodically sought out certain coaching and people and mentors that will help her get there. Why don't you do the same thing? It's available to you in our organization. All you've got to do is reach out and email me, message me, call me and go, I'm really having trouble with this. Who could help me? And I'll help point you in the right direction. I have the beauty of being able to do that these days because I have backed away from so many things and I'm focusing my life right now on doing what I love and helping you women. That's what I love. So don't be afraid to reach out. Bottom line is, let me know if you want to participate and I will set that up. And hey, Joy Rayner, I missed you in Destin. Hey, we're looking at maybe coming to Hood River, Oregon to do a wire event next year. And again, we do these now small events, not huge events, but events where you have 25 to 35 women and they can really get to know each other. Phenomenal support and ideas. So thank you guys for taking the time with me today. Rewatch this a couple of times and check out the Eisenhower Matrix and make it a great day.